follow me everywhere. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Please share the video. Please comment to get the dialogue going. Let's have some fun here. You have to follow me everywhere because I did have an additional pick. So I made 6 picks and I got 4 out of 6. So decent night out of me, even though the last minute pick that I made right before the event for the prelims, I lost. So let's go ahead and get into this. On the prelims, the main event of the prelims, I chose Jacare Souza to beat Andre Muniz. He did not. This ended in the first round. I don't want him to go out on like a 6-fight losing streak. We all know Jacare's probably in the winter of his career. Andre's like on a 7-fight win streak now. Probably should do a little research on the boy. Oh gosh. So Jacare starts out actually doing well. He manages to get a takedown, some ground and pound. And in fact, the way this ends, it is Muniz who's on his back. Jacare is on top of him with his hands on the mat like this, knees over his body. Andre has his arm like this. Then he postures up towards high up on Jacare from his back and begins to try to turn and reverse the situation. Now, this is something you've heard before. When you're in transition, when you leave your hand posted on the mat flat like this, you actually leave your arms vulnerable for a submission. So when he started to roll him like that, Jacare should have tucked that arm in. And DC actually kind of said it real time. As he rolls him, he forgets to tuck that arm. It's an arm bar. It's over the hip, and you hear it real time. I heard it snap real time. And then on the replay, you saw the break. It was brutal. It was loud. Even in a crowd full of people, it was loud. Hate to see that for Jacare. But Andre Muniz, great win for you. Not only that, the type of win to submit Jacare Souza, definitely a feather in the cap there. So who would you like to see Andre Muniz fight next? Now, on to the main card. First up, got this pick, chose Edson Barbosa to beat Shane Burgos, and this was fight of the night. Great fight. I have to go back and watch the prelims, by the way. I actually made it in time just to catch that main event there, because I heard the prelims were great. One of the opponents went to the fighters on the prelims as well. But again, on to the main card. Fight of the night, Edson Barbosa versus Shane Burgos. And yeah, it deserved it. This fight was crazy in the 145 division. Edson comes out strong. He lands a leg kick immediately that seems to like really actually affect Shane right in this first round. You're like, okay, that leg's already compromised, but Shane bites down, goes through it, continues to come forward, starts to land some combinations and some really good body work, starts to land some good shots on the body work, opened up the face, and he's able to connect there as well. So these first 2 rounds were extremely close. They were both going at it, both throwing bombs, going back and forth. Like I said, extremely close. I'll probably have to watch it again with the sound off to really tell you who won which rounds of 1 and 2, but I can tell you who won in round 3. Edson, I don't know what minute this is, but they're going back and forth. Edson manages to land a, I believe it is a right, or was it a left? Correct me if I'm wrong, if it was a left or a right. I believe it was a right, like a right hook. And this is the longest delay I've ever seen between someone getting hit and actually going out. Usually that happens with a liver kick. You know, it's a very delayed reaction and all of a sudden they crumple. But when someone gets hit in the face like that, it's usually like, it's maybe like a, and then it's a blah. And you get the crazy leg, chicken legs real quick. It's usually a lot faster. This time he gets hit with a punch in the face and then he's still here. He's still here. And then all of a sudden he loses balance. He starts stumbling all the way back to the cage and he falls. And when he falls, you look at his eyes and they're done. He's out. He's out. It was the weirdest knockout I've ever seen. First time for everything, right? You tell Edson was weirded out. Edson comes over and he's like, the ref hasn't stopped it yet. So Edson's like, okay, looks again. Like 2 like taps because he's like, I don't even, this fight is over. So the ref stops the fight. Winner by, I believe, TKO, but I'm pretty sure he knocked Shane all the way out. The eyes were gone, glazed over. And as Edson came over to hit him with those 2 last shots, Shane doesn't even move, doesn't even lift his hands up. So he's out, sleep. This was a crazy fight, crazy win for Edson Barbosa at 145, who's now 3-0 at 145. So who would you like to see him fight next? He's now ranked in the top 10. Let's see if he can make a run at that belt at 145. And just real quick to Shane, you need to get some fundamentals. You got that crazy chaos thing going. You need to get some control and some methodology to your madness. You need to work on your footwork. You need to work on some defense, head movement, things of that nature. You've got great angles. You do have a good chin. You've got great angles, great power, great speed. But you need to get some method to your madness. Work on some traditional kickboxing. Get a jab. You have a lot of kicks. Use your kicks as jabs as well. But work on that footwork. Get some method to the madness. You're still young enough to do it. Now, on to the next one. I got this pick as well. I chose Katlyn Chookagian to beat Viviana Araujo, and she did. This was a 3-round decision in her favor. I don't agree with the 30-27. I think Vivian definitely won round 1. She was going forward. She landed more shots. She landed more devastating shots, the hardest shots. She was definitely more powerful from the jump. You can see that throughout this entire fight, that she had more punching power. Second round is the round where I was like, I wonder how the judges are going to score this one, because Vivian gets a takedown, and in the takedown, she's landing ground and pounding too. Ground and pound to the head and to the body. So it's not one of those takedowns where she just held position. She's getting ground and pound. Chookagian does manage to get up with about a minute and a half left in this fight. And when she gets up, even she herself said she was pissed off, and you could see it. She got up and became a ball of fire. She got up and was like, I actually managed to stun her a few times, beat her back up against the cage. I was like, okay. She actually managed to do some serious work. I believe Viviana actually ended up having 2 black eyes, swollen eyes by the end of this fight. And the third round was clearly all Katlyn. It was so much Katlyn that I was like, if she could get like a near finish or almost finish, she could possibly take this round by 2. That's how much it was Katlyn. That's how much she outscored her. That's how much her jab was landing. Like I said, she swole both eyes up. She was initiating all of the exchanges in that third round. So definitely hers. But I was like, Vivian held the bottom or the top position on the ground and actually was landing shots for a decent amount of that round. Probably should have went to her. Maybe a draw, but again, she came out with a vengeance at the end of that round and a half, but it definitely wasn't a 30-20. Either way, let me know what you think of that. The judging, do you think she should have won? If not, why on both of those? Also, who would you like to see Katlyn Chookagian fight next? Now, next up, I did not get this pick. I chose Matt Schnell to beat Rogerio Bontorin. He did not. Bontorin just landed the heavier shots, the cleaner shots that stunned him, stumbled him back, even made him a little shaky-legged. He tried to get some combinations going together, but he could never really find his range. Matt, that is. This was a good point victory for Rogerio. I believe it was a unanimous decision. Who would you like to see him fight next? He missed weight by 1 pound, so it wasn't like devastating, like he came in like, it's not like he missed it by like 7 pounds. You know what I mean? Because these are smaller fighters. This was at 135 instead of 145, which is at the weight class they're both normally at. But Rogerio is, we'll see what's going on with that. So who would you like to see him fight next? Now, all right. Now, co-main event, and y'all. So as I chose Beneil Dariush to beat Tony Ferguson. As they were walking out, my love for Tony Ferguson took over me, and I tweeted and I posted on Instagram changing my pick to Tony Ferguson. As Bruce was announcing Tony Ferguson, I deleted the tweets. I deleted the tweet and the post. I deleted it before the bell rung. I got witnesses, the people who were watching it with me, just in case our stream was later or something. Y'all in like the East Coast is like, you actually deleted it on 20 seconds into the fight. On my stream, it was deleted before the bell rung, okay? So I stuck with my original pick of, but it was crazy. Tony Ferguson. And I was like, and I'm so glad I did. Because Beneil Dariush whooped Tony Ferguson's behind, and because I love Tony so much, it was painful to see. He outstruck him on the feet and then quickly took him down and was able to hold him down, ground and pound for all 3 rounds. Simple as that. He wasn't able to finish him. There was one point where they were booing throughout, wanting more action, and I think they were booing too because the crowd was definitely on Tony Ferguson's side. They gave him the biggest pop of the night, quite frankly, when he came out. So I think they were booing as well because Benil was winning. So there's one point where they got warned by the ref to up the action, but you could see that Benil was clearly working towards like a head and arm choke or a darce or something of that nature. You could see that. So I was like, don't stand him up. He's clearly working for something. But either way, unanimous decision in favor of Benil. Great win for Benil. He called out Elon Musk. He said, where's my car? Because apparently he ordered a Tesla like a few months ago, still hasn't got it yet. And he is having a baby next month. I believe it's his first child. So I would say but Elon Musk responded, by the way, and said, sorry for delay. It'll be there soon. I wonder if he's going to give him like a souped up version now that he got called out. I think that's kind of cool. I like Benil. He, of course, thank God and all of that. And he said something about one of the foreign conflicts or something like that. Or maybe said something about an ideology. He said something kind of political. You got to go back and watch it. But he said himself, because he's having a baby, that he's going to be out for a while. That he's not going to fight again probably to the end of this year or possibly the beginning of next year. So to say who should he fight next when we have a lightweight division that's got a lot of moving parts, it's kind of like, I don't know. So who should what should Tony Ferguson do? 3 fights losing in a row, and not only are they losses, but they were butt whoopings. He didn't take as much damage as he did in the last 2, right? But they were devastating losses. I think definitely give him a chance to build himself back up again. He's 37 years old in a weight division where age does matter. I don't know how big he is. Maybe he could possibly go up to welterweight, but that division, age matters as well. Give him a chance to try to build himself back up again. His next fight shouldn't be against like a top 7, top 5 guy at all. Maybe not even a top 10 guy. Maybe like a 15 guy or something like that. But his next fight should be against someone at the end of the rankings. Give him a chance to see what happens here. You got to stop feeding him to the wolves in the deep end because, or what someone said, stop throwing him in the deep end when we're seeing that he clearly can't swim, you know what I mean? So give him a chance to maybe build that strength back up, maybe who, and we'll see. So who would you like to see Tony Ferguson fight next? Do you think he should go ahead and call it quits? Let me know what you think about that entire situation. Of course, Benil with the Elon Musk. And let me know who you think he should fight next, or what do you think should happen. Actually, we'll go ahead and talk about that now. Got that pick, got this next pick as well. And new main event, and new UFC lightweight champion, Mr. Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira. He beat Iron Mike Chandler for the vacant UFC lightweight belt, the belt that Khabib Nurmagomedov gave up. So yeah, you just check it out if you haven't seen it. Round 1 was bananas. So Charles Oliveira, man, his stand-up game has really come a long way. He had some serious tight traditional boxing, tight striking, head movement, footwork, or else he probably would have got knocked out completely in that first round because Mike was on him. Clipped him. Every time he clipped him, it seemed like it did had an effect on him. So you could clearly see that power advantage for Mike. He landed some good leg kicks right out the bat. Charles did land some good leg kicks right out the bat, which did make Iron Mike think about some things. But like I said, he was on him. He actually stunned him really early on, which makes Charles go for a takedown. And he was actually able to take him down because Mike went for the guillotine. Charles was able to get his head up out of that, mount some ground and pound, and then take Michael Chandler's back. Michael stands up and then slams backward, which actually makes the grip tighter. And even him himself, like thinking back on that, I probably shouldn't have done that. But he was able to explode out of that and flip the situation and end up on top with some ground and pound himself. Ground and pound all the way up to the cage, which actually kind of lets Charles is able to get back up. He stuns him again on the feet. Stuns him again. This time, there's that one point where Charles is on all fours and he's just kind of moving his head around trying to avoid being knocked out all the way. I was like, ref, don't stop it. I don't know. Don't stop it yet. And Michael Chandler's in there trying to catch that head, trying to finish him. Eventually, he gets a takedown again and was able to wrap him up again. Michael's on top. And even DC's like, I would let him up. But Michael stays in there and grounds and pounds him and actually allows Charles to kind of not get knocked out in that situation. Round ends. We go into this second round, and this happened, I think, within 19 seconds, so very early on in, Do Bronx connects with a tight left hook, right on the chin, which moves the head. wipes the feet out from under him. He's on the ground, pops back up, and now he's running. And now he's running. Here comes Charles. He's coming. He lands a right, blow. Another right, blow. This one stuns him again. And now he's on the ground, like on the knee. And then here comes Charles with the left. Hawaka, 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 hawaka. Ref stops the fight. And no. And the feeling on Charles just permeated throughout the arena, because there was a lot of Michael Chandler fans there, but you couldn't help but be happy for Charles. He goes up over the cage, goes straight over to the commentary booth, and I believe he says surprise, surprise, and a couple other things to Joe Rogan and them as he lay flat out all up in their face. Then he goes over to Dana White and literally bleeds on Dana White's head. You can see it on his head because he had a cut over his eye, because like I said, Michael Chandler affected him every time he hit him. Bleeds on Dana White's head as he says whatever he says to him. Then as they're trying to pull him and stop him and get him back into the octagon, but now he's circling the outside of the cage, doing some high stepping. Then he gets away from him again, some more high stepping. Then he climbs up over the barricade at one point, jumps on two people. They catch him, he hugs them, jumps back over, does some more high stepping. Then he comes back up onto the apron of the cage. They pick him up. He goes back into the octagon, and then he bursts into tears. It really made me happy to watch him be so happy. It just was a joy to see someone that elated to win the belt. Not to say people aren't always happy when they win the belt, but there's levels to everything. And that was definitely one of the more memorable celebrations and more memorable crownings of a new champ. Like I said, he burst into tears. He has taken the longest to get to a title shot, let alone winning the belt. 28 fights, 11 years. That is history. He has broken the record held by Michael Bisping, who took 26 fights to get there. As someone pointed out, the difference was there is Michael Bisping was already on the way out. Opportunity meets preparation. Someone pulled out of that fight. He got in and won that belt. Du Bronx is 31. And yes, he's had a lot of fights, so he's probably a little bit older in fight years, but he actually hasn't taken too many injuries. And it's not like he's been knocked out a bunch of times, so he's actually still in pretty good health. 31 years old, so that's a different story taking that long. He is, of course, Brazilian. He's from the favelas. Someone said that he still lives there. I don't know if that's true, but if so, you got to go. Get on it. Get on out. Go, Charles. And that's not me just saying that out of ignorance. If you listen to many of the Brazilian, whether it be soccer players, basketball players, the two from the San Antonio Spurs, that award-winning team back in the day with the big three on it, the two Brazilians on that team, they'll talk about how they had to move literally like over 30 members of their families out of there because they kept getting kidnapped. And I believe it was Vita Belfort's sister who was murdered. I'm not sure if that was tied to them wanting money, but yeah. So you might want to go ahead and get up out of there, bro. Jose Aldo came from the favelas. He does not live in the favelas. Okay. And that's not just a foreign thing. Here, too, I live in California, and there's plenty of rumors that part of the reason why Nipsey Hussle's no longer here is that was sanctioned by his old boss who used to manage all the other Crip rappers when he decided to no longer pay anymore. Been not underneath the management, but was still giving kickbacks. Rumors have it. So that happens here too. You come from nothing and you attain something. Those who were around you in that nothingness will some of them may try to take that something, right? So the other thing is, I saw a lot of comments talking about how, why are they saying he needs to learn English? That's so, racist or bigoted or Zionist or whatever you want to call it. And there may be some people who are saying it out of those motivations, but just to put it out there, English is the international language of business. For real. You go to business heavy countries like South Korea, Japan, and they teach them kids almost right out the gate English, right out the bat, talking elementary school. So that is why English is so spoken so widely amongst the world in so many countries. So that is why if you learn English in any industry, whether you're talking about finance or the internet or sports or whatever it is, entertainment, when you learn English, it just simply opens up more doors and more opportunities for you to make more money. So that's what that is. You got to live in reality, not the way the world exists in your head. You can try to change your reality, but you still got to live in it, right? So that's just what that is. That's why people are saying that he should learn English. By the way, he does know some English and he does understand English. He's not very confident speaking, and he's already been working on it. And now that he's champ, I'm sure that will go into hyperdrive. Anyway, So let's go ahead and bring this video to an end. Great event. There was fans booing throughout 2 of the fights. I didn't think they were worth booing, but I think they got spoiled on the awesome prelims and the fights before that. So it happens sometimes. And again, like I said, this crowd was very, very engaged, and I appreciated that. I think that is it. So let me know how you did on all of your picks, any injury updates, especially, like I said, we had some hospitalizations there. And I was Jacare. Let me know how Shane Burgos is doing, because Dana White said he made sure that he went directly to the hospital with that weird knockout. So let me know, of course, any injury updates we have there, how you did on all of your picks, what's good. Oh, for the future of the lightweight division. So now, yeah, who should do Bronx fight next? You've got Poirier fighting McGregor. You have Justin Gaethje, who's coming off of a loss, but he is the interim champion, I think. Still, I don't know. I don't know who else is in that. Michael Chandler, of course, is in that picture, and who else is in that next tier. But what do you think should happen? Should there be some sort of a 4-man tournament? Do you think that the winner of Poirier should automatically get it? He said, do Bronx. He said that he's been calling out Conor for years, but now that he has the belt, you know, people got to come to him. That's the money fight, of course. That's the reason why Poirier was not in this title fight, is because he chose to fight Conor instead. So, who do you think should fight Do Bronx next? And what do you think should happen in the lightweight picture, period? Like I said, Benil's going to be taking some time off. So, yeah. Now, talk to me. Talk to me.